It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay. Breaking up is good for you.
So I told my guy, Peter,
Pete, you are not.
Well, hello again, everybody. It's now time for another rousing edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Welcome aboard, as they like to say. In case you noticed, I was gone for a week. You probably didn't. You probably listened to this years from now in the Internet Archive. But hey, that's okay. Welcome anyway. And but we did have a holiday weekend. I took some time off, mostly for mental health reasons, but I did get some work done around the house and did get some time with me and My Roku, here to share along with you. Just so you know, a little disclaimer before each show. I am not endorsed or sponsored by, in any way, shape, or form, by Roku Incorporated, publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange under, or is it NASDAQ? Who knows? It's ROKU. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, other than I love their product. Have 3 of them, along with a Chromecast and a Fire TV and a Android TV. But other than that, I love My Roku, and I'm here to share it with you, and hopefully that you get ideas for yourself, and that you can maybe cut the cord or enjoy your cord killing as you wish. So I talk about me and My Roku, my show. If you want a more broad cord-cutting experience in the podcasting world, there's Cord Killers with Tom Merritt and Brian Brushwood. They're a couple of pals who have been together for a very long time now, and they do a wonderful podcast. If you like dystopian sci-fi things and want to hear what they watch, type of thing. But they do have good news, and it's a good show. If you want more broad just news, there's Cord Cutting News. They're available on YouTube, and there's also a weekly podcast. I believe his name is Luke. He never says, but that's okay. He just brings you the news, and he stands in front of a Roku TV. So if you want more broad cord-cutting news, that's a good recommendation for you there. But plenty going on here with Roku and me and my stuff, so let's get started. Shine on! Okay, so before I get going with my thrilling lineup that I've got here for you, big announcement. You know how I always make fun on the closing credits about iHeartMedia, and they're the ones that have been left out in our subscription options for this podcast. Well, folks, we have finally made the grade. We are now worthy, and we are now available on all iHeartMedia applications, the Roku channel, the app on iOS, Android, Fire tablets, anything like that, Android, like that. So we are now officially on just about every podcast subscription thing that you can think of. So if you want to subscribe or review us or recommend us to anyone, please do. And so iHeartMedia, thank you so much that we made the grade. Therefore, you now make the grade with us. So what comes around goes around. We love it. Anyway, okay, so here's what's been going on. When I took some of my time off, I'm trying to get ready for the big football season. What am I going to do, or what am I doing to help supplement football or anything like that? Now, I say every year I'm 5 years away from not watching football anymore. It's getting kind of tiring. I'm not even quite sure. It's basically on autopilot whenever it's on these days. But I've been saying that for 10 years now. And I'm 5 years away from not watching football anymore. But, so been checking out all the different cable alternatives. We had PlayStation View has been the best for football because you can add on the Red Zone and you get the NFL Network and things like that. And so ever since football season ended, we've had YouTube TV. And before I go further here, I want to make sure that I explain this correctly for me. You could be totally different, and you have different needs and things like that. But this is why this is me and My Roku. When I talk about these sites, I want you to have the mindset like I do that when Penn Jillette is reviewing people on his show Fool Us, he is never critical of the performance or anything like that. He might not have been fooled from the very first second that the person starts performing, whether it's a card trick or some other illusion. He's got it all figured out already, but he'll always just be very, very gentle, very nice, and say, "Oh, very entertaining, very good." So when I want that to come through when I talk about these sites, that even though I don't use them anymore, very entertaining, very good. You didn't fool me, but thank you for offering your service to me. So YouTube TV, you were great, very entertaining, but you didn't fool me. And everyone has now kind of raised their price a little bit too, so that's an issue. I was using Apple credits, and then YouTube TV said, well, if you're going to do that, then we're going to charge you $5 more, even though I'm using credits. That's you're budgeting your credits, because maybe you want to use it for other things as well. So YouTube TV, very good. It's supplemented, probably the longest out of all of them, probably 3 or 4 months that we had YouTube TV. And so it might be right for you. But we had to let it go for now, because going into the sports season, they're not going to have everything that we require on that. We did Sling TV. Sling TV is a great value. Thank you very much. Very entertaining. You did a great job. One thing about Sling TV that I didn't like is for the authentication channels, they didn't have anything other than for the local baseball team on the Fox Sports Go. Everything else was within the Sling app. Now, that could be convenient, but that's a lot of searching, and it's a lot of having to go through not really knowing that it's there type of thing. So, Sling TV, great job. You didn't fool us. So, then we did Hulu Live. Hulu Live, very good, because then you can add that in. As I bump my mic, I'm so excited about Hulu TV, Hulu Live. It incorporates your Hulu, so it kind of puts everything at once there. Very hard to find things. However, and not always available on certain devices, like the Android TV or an older Roku, my Roku LT. So, however, the authentication, did work. So you could log in through the apps. So thank you very much. Very entertaining. We went back to just regular Hulu, and I'll discuss that more later. So, thank you, everyone. We have decided, for now, not to go with anything. We're going to break up. We've broken up with cable a long time ago. We're going to break off with the cable alternatives. We'll try for 30 days. We'll see how it goes. And I'll explain my game plan for the next 30 days or so until preseason football starts. Oh, yes. I still watch preseason football. Sort of. Thank you very much on that. Probably go back to PlayStation View. So it's like some people will do things for a while and they just end up going back to cable. Or they break up with their boyfriend and girlfriend for a while and then try things for 30 days. And you feel free and you just want to travel the world. And then you just end up going back in the meantime. So we'll probably go back to PlayStation View once football starts. But really enjoyed trying everything else. Other ones were Fubo, and I've not tried DirecTV Now, but I think we've tried just about everything else. Very entertaining, very good. Some better than others, and that's the other thing. You can just drive yourself nuts. So just find out what you like the best. For us, football is very important for now, for another 5 years, and then we'll stop. All right, so here's our game plan for the next month or so, or until we go back to things. One subscription channel, and that is Hulu. We have a gift card on that, so we've got that until the end of September as it is. I also throw in parentheses there MLB TV. That was free with T-Mobile. So we've got those two there. The free channels, we got plenty of those on the Roku. So we got the Roku channel, Pluto TV, Tubi, Zumo, Crackle, and YouTube. The authentication channels, even though we don't have a service right now for the next 30 days or so. Food Network, HGTV, DIY, PBS, maybe others, maybe Science as well, and Discovery along those lines. Even though we're not subscribed to anything right now, there are still free things to watch, and then they usually put other episodes on to help you binge along that. So there's still plenty of things, even though we're not subscribed to a service. Music channels. We've talked about my going back and forth on that, but it has still become very good while we're doing other things. Pandora, Sirius XM, and yes, our new friend, iHeartMedia app. The info entertainment channels, Morningstar, America's Test Kitchen, JTV, Shop LC, and then finally, Plex is still on there for my old DVD collection, mostly Scooby-Doo and Monty Python, because you can't live without that. So I think we've got enough things to rot our brains. I think we're going to survive without a cable alternative.
Go, go, go on now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Time once again to thank our friends at archive.org for providing the bandwidth of all my podcasts for the last several years, almost a decade probably, if not more. I can't tell you enough about them. Check them out today, archive.org, the keepers of the Internet Archive. Music, television, movies, books, anything you want, arcade games, the ROMs for that as well. It's just all right there. It's like the greatest library collection ever, and they're doing so much to preserve as much as they can, especially the internet. 78 RPM records. They're very picky, kind of what they want, because they can only take so much. So maybe with your support, they can help take care of the rest of my collection out of my basement. Anyway, it's not all about me. It's about the Internet Archive and archive.org. Please help support them today, as they've supported us for so long. We appreciate them and we love them. And by we, I mean me. I love Internet Archive and archive.org.
Whoa, whoa. I am the rebel. I am the rebel.
Okay. Some news and notes. Some people are making a big deal that you can now Chromecast Amazon Prime Video once again. That is huge news. It's just too bad that you've been able to have the Amazon Prime Video app on Roku all along. It was never taken off. But for you Chromecasters out there, congrats. Welcome to the club. Us Rokuers have been there for a long time now, right? Also in the news, from the Motley Fool, they have the 10 ways Roku is expanding its most profitable business. Now, I don't really speak of Roku as a business very often, because this is about me and my Roku. But one of the reasons why I decided to continue the podcast was because of how well Roku was doing. I didn't think it would last this long, to be perfectly honest. I want to say it was a joke that I was going to do the podcast, but it was going to be perfect for the Internet Archive, because I thought, hey, remember Roku? What was that? But it's doing very well business-wise these days, and there's plenty of things. Now, if you've ever heard me before, I'm not a big fan of top 10 lists and the top 10 things that Roku can do, and number 7 will blow your mind. I'm not big on that, but they make some pretty good points here about mainly on advertising. And they're also going into a lot of the branded on televisions. You can get branded remotes, different than a cut of the subscriptions. Like if you go through the Roku channel and add Netflix or add HBO or anything like that, they get a cut on that. Now, that was also one of the problems I had having to cut YouTube TV, is because to make up for that cut, they were adding that cost on. But that's one thing to look at. But obviously, they're tracking your data, and that's not always such a bad thing, because that's maybe how we get good programming on there as well. So there's a good marketplace. There's good homepage ads. That's how you recommend channels as well. The Roku channel, that's how that sustains itself and provides free programming. Pluto's doing the same thing. That's Viacom. They're probably going to merge with CBS, so we'll have to see what goes on there. Targeted emails, I don't know about that. And the connected TV, so we already talked about that. So that's an interesting article on the Motley Fool for the 10 ways Roku is expanding its most profitable business. Check that out to maybe learn more about Roku as a business. Okay. So you've cut the cord. You've cut the cable alternatives like I have for the month. So you're looking for some new channels and things like that. So I thought I would just kind of go through, and you can get a little muddled sometimes. It can be overwhelming sometimes with all the things that are available. But you're looking for new channels. Obviously, you go to the streaming channels tab, and then you'll see the featured. And then you'll see things that you recognize there and see what you've got, what you don't have. And then there's new and notable. Again, things you've probably heard of, seen of before. Maybe you've used it before. But here's the one that can really get you going and get down a rabbit hole that maybe you can't get out of. So just be careful on this one. Is the Just Added feature on that. So streaming channels, featured, new and notable, and then underneath that is Just Added. And boy, are there some... Here's what I just found just in the last hour, okay? DMV Flicks for independent creators. Skunky Cinema. Paper Chases TV. Hillbilly Horror Stories. And that only got 1.5 stars. That's shocking. New Homes Channel. Dayton 24/7 Now. Stoned Mode. Best Watched While Baked. Planet Auction. Friday Night Network. The East Central Alabama High School Football Channel. So it's either East or Central, but it's Alabama, so either way. 5-minute guitar lessons. Daily fitness tips. Retro Monster Channel. That's a pay one, though, so look out on that. Everything else is free so far. How to relieve stress. Bass Fishing TV. And finally, Lifeguard TV, the only channel devoted to lifeguards. And you're going to be extremely disappointed because it's only red carpet interviews of people who are on Baywatch. So if you're looking to create your own Roku channel, maybe you might want to start interviewing lifeguards. I think that'd be fascinating. Anyway, check that out today. So there's plenty of things to watch on it, but you can get kind of crazy sometimes, so don't overload yourself. So check that out today. If that's me and my Roku, I hope you enjoy you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying mine. It's a special thanks to archive.org for their support. Subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and yes, finally, iHeartMedia. Subscribe on those and tell your friends to love us and follow us. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction. And for questions and comments, concerns, ideas, give it a shot. It's Me and My Roku, but you never know. Email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. I'll check in with you real soon. Enjoy your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku.